Alright, so welcome back. You should have grabbed the bell ringer and you should have filled in the first 3 questions. I can't answer those questions for you. That is all about you. Okay? Now, what we can talk about though is this. If we are combining like terms, if I circle 4a, what else is like 4a? This minus 4a. If I square this negative 2b, let me make this just a little bit bigger. It just seems a little small. Alright, let's try that. That's a lot better. Alright, so if I box the negative 2b, I'm also going to box this negative 12b. Okay, so we're looking at things that are alike. So what's 4a's minus 4a's? No a's or 0 a's. Alright? If I have negative 2b's and I have negative 12b's, how many b's does that make? That makes 14 b's, and they are all negatives. Alright, if I do the same thing here, if I circle my a, is there anything else I can circle? No. So let's square my 2b. Is there anything else I can square? My plus 2b as well. Alright, and then this is going to be its own thing. So I have a positive a plus how many b's? 4 of them. And then just a plus of 4. I cannot add anything else together. Okay? I want you to try and do that one by yourself. Okay? Alright. Now, when you come to class, it'll say always on the board what you need to grab. Okay? Always will say what you need to grab. You know where the welcome work is. You always need to grab that. And any other materials that may be said. To know that you are paying attention, either you need to be writing notes, if that's the time and the place. You need to have eyes on the speaker if that's the time and the place. Maybe you have a question like this girl right here and you need to raise your hand. Okay? There are lots of ways to know that somebody's paying attention. When you are leaving the room, right? You talked about that during advisory. You need to make sure that you raise your hand, not just scream out that you need to go. You need to make sure that it is an appropriate time, not the first or last 10 minutes. If someone's in the middle of speaking about something, that's probably not a great time unless it's a dire emergency. All right? Lastly, make sure, as you know, we are in math, we need to make sure that we show all of our work, right? We need to make sure we show all of our work. Okay? And if there's no room on assignment to show your work, you can always grab a sheet of Cornell notes or you can grab a sheet of blue sleeve and staple it together. Okay? Now, as far as today goes, we are going to be talking about distributing. So it says, you all know the word distribute. It means to hand out, deliver, share, deal out, give out, dispense, supply. Okay? You're distributing something. You're giving it to everybody. When you distribute, you make sure everyone gets one. Okay? If you are distributing candy for Halloween coming up, you're not going to give it to this little kid in front of you and not to the other little kid next to him. That's just not nice. Okay? So same thing in math, we need to make sure everyone gets distributed. So what that means is you can see here this A is being distributed to the B. So that means that you're going to multiply A and B. It also has an arrow to the C, so that means that the A is also getting multiplied by the C. Okay? So if you have a negative 1 times a 2x, well, what's negative 1 times 2? Negative 2, and then you have your x. What's negative 1 times a positive 5? And negative 5. Okay? So that's why here it has 5 times x plus 5 times 2. Well, 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. So this expanded is 5x plus 10. Sometimes that way doesn't make sense to people. And the box method makes a lot more sense, especially with how we've had our circling and stuff like that. So how the box method works is you put the number that's outside of the parentheses, okay, outside the box on the left. Then you have a rectangle and you break it up with how many terms are inside the parentheses. So we have one term here and one term here. So this is going to be a 1x. And this is going to be a 3. And we're going to make sure that that plus goes with it, right? So what's 4 times 1x? Well, that's 4x. What is 4 times a plus 3? a plus 12. So our answer for this is 4x plus 12. And again, if you did 4 times x, you'd still get 4x, and then 4 times 3, you'd still get a 12. So again, way 1 and way 2, you get the same answer. It's just which one makes sense to you. All right? So for number 2, I'm going to have my 3 outside to the left of the box because it's on the outside of my parentheses. And then up here, this box is broken into 3 parts because there are 1, 2, 3 terms. So I have my 2x squared, I have my plus 4x, and I have my minus 1. So it's 3 times 2x squared, 6x squared. 3 times positive 4x, that's plus 12x. 3 times a negative 1, well, that's a negative 3. I don't know what I was writing. And then that's just my answer without the line. So 6x squared plus 12x minus 3. All right? Simple enough. So again, this is just what we just did. It's just here so you can see. So if you like the box way for A, that would look like this. 4 and then 6 minus 2. That would be 4 on the outside. Draw your little box, right? 6 would go up here, minus 2 would go here. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times negative 2, negative 8. So 24 minus 8. Same thing with B. 7 on the outside, 2 terms on the inside, so my box is broken into 2 pieces. So I have 2, and I have a plus 5. 2 times 7 is 14. 7 times positive 5 is positive 35. So this would be 14 plus 35. All right, I'm going to try doing C the other way. So 6 times A gives you what? 6A. 6 times 7 gives you a positive 42. So 6A plus 42. I want you to pause the video, try and do D. Try and do D. See how you do with it, and then come back. Welcome back. You should have done 3 times 4, which is 12, minus 3 times B, which is 3B. And that's it. Oh, that looks like a 6, doesn't it? B as in boy. B as in boy. All right. Now, for the next part. What are the factors of 12? So a factor is a number that divides evenly into another number. So the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So what times what gives you 12? Well, 1 and 12. What else? 2 and 6. 3 and 4. And I think that's it. All right? Now, if I do the same thing for 20, what are the factors?